Spencer Fane.
This is the emergency. Oh, are we doing the regular meeting? Oh, it's in there. I'm sorry.
All about it. That's what I'm looking on it right now. One of my kids' age, if he's younger than her. Sorry, we started late today, guys. That's all right.
I don't think the live stream's up. It is now? Oh, okay, very good.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Burnet County Judge Brian Wilson. I now call the Burnet County Commissioners Court meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, July 8th. It's 2025, and the time is now 9:07. To begin this meeting with prayer, and I ask John Weems of Marble Falls to please come to the lectern and ask God's blessing on our Burnet County and this meeting. Stand with me, please.
Hear these words from Psalm 20. Hear these as a blessing over those who are serving, and our county commissioners and judges and all those that are seeking and saving and working today. May the Lord answer you when you are in distress. May the name of God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and grant you support from Zion. May he remember all your sacrifices and accept your burnt offerings. May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. May we shout for joy over your victory and lift up our banners in the name of our God. Now this I know, the Lord gives victory to his anointed. He answers him from his heavenly sanctuary with the victorious power of his right hand. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Lord, together we pray for our community, for our county, for our state. We take a moment to lift up those that tragically perished over the weekend. We take a moment to lift up to those who are still seeking loved ones. And God, we pray miracles continue to happen. We as a county specifically pray for Chief Phillips, that somehow, somewhere, he'll be rescued. Lord, I pray for all those that are working so diligently to get our county back together, for those that are seeking and serving, who are cleaning up, who've lost what they feel is everything. And God, I pray as your word says, we cry out to you. And we claim victory in the name of the Lord our God. So be with these amazing leaders of our county as they go through and have to make decisions that are so difficult. Lord, a few months ago I was here and I prayed for rain. Today I pray a prayer I never thought I would pray. Please keep the rain away for a little while. God, be with these and be with our county. be with our state. Because of you are the only one that can help. In your Son's most holy and precious name, we all pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, John Weems, and thank you, folks, for taking a minute with us to think about the loved ones and fellow citizens that we lost. So I'm going to go ahead and call agenda item number 3 pursuant to Texas Government Code 551. People may make public comment. This will be a section for people making a public comment for items not on the agenda. Is there anybody that wants to make a public comment for an item not on the agenda? Go do so now.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I am Michael McCloskey. I'm Field Director for Congressman John Carter. I know, Judge, that you had an opportunity to speak with the Congressman yesterday. We just first want to send our condolences and that we're with you for the loss and destruction that's happened here in Burnet County. It's hard to believe it could be so close and be. It always seems to be somewhere else, and then it's here. And that our office is with you. We're here to support you. We will be here throughout the process of trying to restore things, and that just wanted to send that message on behalf of the Congressman and our office that we're going to be continuing here to be supportive of anything we can do to help Burnet County.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Okay. Is there anybody else has a comment, public comment for an item not on the agenda? Okay. All right, I'm going to take things out of order. There's a matter of very grave importance. Agenda item number 32, out of its scheduled order, discuss with Burnet County Commissioner Court and the county civil attorneys and/or the county attorney in accordance with Texas Government Code 551-071. Commissioners Court reserves the right to adjourn to executive session at any time during the course of this meeting and discuss any matters as authorized by Texas Government Code, including but not limited to sections 551-071, consultation with an attorney, 551-072, deliberations with about real property, 551-073, deliberations about gifts and donations, 551.074, personnel matters, 551.076, deliberations about security devices, 551.087, economic development, 418.183, deliberations about homeland security issues, and 551.0725, contracts being negotiated. This is discussing confidential attorney-client privilege, attorney-client legal matters pertaining to Burnet County response to the Bell County East to Big Hill 765 kilovolt transmission project per section 551.071 Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney. Today I'm going to recuse myself, even though there's no evidence or chance that I will receive a direct financial benefit from any action being considered by this Commissioners Court action to represent the county or all residents for the county until I can complete research and obtain more information. I will choose not to participate in this executive session discussion today. So Commissioners, you may go into executive session. The time is now 9:15, and we'll call it back when we return. yes, let's transfer. Grew up, you or somebody you know might have. There's where Joe's for the next 40 years. Where's your
Y'all get all these other line items taken care of?
Okay, the time is now 9:38. I call the meeting back to order. We're still on agenda item number 32, scheduled to be out of order. I turn the chair over to Commissioner Byerly.
Okay, thank you, Judge. We'll run through this item. How many people are here to speak on public comment for this item? Raise a hand, just real quick, just curious.
Are you on 34 now? Sorry.
I'm sorry, did I say 32?
You said 32.
Reconvene is 33, and then the discussion is 34.
Okay. You're fine. Do I need to open that? Okay, so we're going to open 34, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding items discussed in executive session. A, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on entering into a contract with a law firm to advise and represent Burnet County in response to the Bell County East to Big Hill 765 kV transmission project, LCRA Encore electric line. B, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on a line item transfer to fund professional services in order to engage with a law firm to advise and represent Burnet County in response to the Bell County East to Big Hill 765 kV transmission project, LCRA Encore electric line. Okay. That was just a straw poll on who was going to do public comment. If you're here for public comment, I'm going to open up public comment on this agenda item. Okay. No public comment on this agenda item. We did meet with council, and so on this agenda item, I guess I'll make this a motion. I make a motion that we table this agenda item to July 22nd, our next regularly scheduled meeting. And in the meantime, we're instructing Randy Levitt to find a law firm to meet with us and discuss and consider what all options they feel like we would have in the event that we were going to spend money and engage a law firm. We almost had one here today, but they ended up with a conflict, so in such a short window, we didn't find another one, but we feel we at least need to hear from them on what our options are, so he's going to try to get that done, and we'll do this again on the 22nd. Okay? That's my motion.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that agenda item is closed.
For the record, I did not vote or
Oh,
engage
any
in this
abstentions?
process. So, what, aye.
Okay. Good, B? Okay, I'm going to close that item, and then I'm going to hand the meeting back over to the judge.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I call agenda item number 4, set plea date and time for the public hearing regarding petition considering requesting the formation of Burnet County Emergency Service District 11. Said public hearing will be held at the regular session of the Burnet County Commissioners Court, August 12th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Burnet County Courthouse, Burnet County, Texas. Commission, this is a petition to establish a new emergency service district, or ESD, for fire protection services. In the central portion of Burnet County and the middle portion of Precinct 1, the area is generally referred to as Hoover Valley. The ESD has gathered signatures on the petition as required by law to hold an election for a fire ESD. Those signatures were validated by the elections administrator and have been filed with the county clerk's office. This motion is to set the public hearing to gather community input on whether to hold and schedule the election to establish the emergency service district.
Vicenta Stafford, Burnet County Clerk. July 2nd, 2025, we did receive the validated petition in the county clerk's office. It is filed in our office for anyone to view, and I am proposing the Tuesday, August 12th at 2025 at 9 a.m. for the proposed hearing for y'all to approve or disapprove of the petition.
Thank you, Ms. Stafford. Okay, is there any public comment on this issue? Is anybody here representing the ESD board? Okay. Howdy, do you want to say anything, or are we good? All right, thank you. Do I hear a motion to set a public hearing to be held at the regular session of the Burnet County Commissioners Court, August 12th at 9 a.m., Burnet County Courthouse, Burnet, Texas? I move for approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this petition and to hold a hearing on it on August 12th at 9 a.m. Is there any further discussions?
I've got a general question on the process.
Sure, go ahead.
Can you have more than one public hearing if the citizens requested it? And could that second public hearing be more in the community it was affected? Or does it have to be here? This is just a general question.
I don't see a downside as long as we post it in the county office, county building.
It would have to be in a county building, but okay, I got it.
So if there's concern about community input, is that the concern?
I believe, well, it's just, yeah.
Okay. So I don't think there'd be anything prohibiting us either from having a workshop, either before, in other words, I think this part of the process, whether to hold an election, is limited to, in other words, this is a legal process to hold an election, and that has to be done here. But if people wanted to, that doesn't prohibit us, as far as I know, from setting a workshop to take input before either before or after. Ms. Stafford?
Vicenta Stafford again. There's nothing that says you can't have a workshop or anything. Just keep in mind on Tuesday, August 12th, when you have the public hearing. Afterwards, you will take action on whether or not to approve the petition. August 15th, which is 3 days later, is the last day to order this to go onto the November election. So if you're going to have a public or a workshop, I would maybe have it before the public hearing, just because after the 12th, the elections office y'all will sign an order on the 12th ordering the elections office to hold an election on November the 4th.
Thank you. And that's what I was thinking, if we'd have to do something ahead of time.
Thank you.
Okay? Been moved and seconded that we approve this petition to hold an election, to hold a public hearing to schedule an election. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Okay, the motion passes. Okay. Call agenda item number 5, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on moving Commissioners' Court session to once a week. Commissioners, we have just been really having very long agendas over the last few months. There's lots of things going on in our county, and now we're going to have even more with the declaration of disaster that I took on Saturday. I would ask you to consider moving these Commissioners' Court meetings to once a week. We can, from time to time, be able to, in open court, decide not to have one in a following week, but it would help us to. One of the problems we're having is in paying bills and in the last minute effort to make sure we pay bills on time under the Prompt Appointment Act. So because we have every 2 weeks, if like some, as you know, some utility bills only have 2 weeks. So I think it'll help us do better financial administration. Second is the reduce the long agendas. And finally, we will have more opportunities to manage the year-end budget if we go to once a week. So is there any public comment on this issue?
Patty Cope, Burnet County voter, taxpayer, interested person. Have you?
Patty, will you move the mic closer to you?
Have you calculated costs? If you're going to have double the meetings, you're going to have double costs to the taxpayers for holding double meetings. Any effect on county court at law docket for scheduling court in this room? And has the county ever considered maybe meeting later in the day for budget workshops somewhere else, AgriLife, or even here after the day's docket's done, so that taxpayers and members of the public can participate? Thank you.
Okay, is there any other public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, do I hear a motion?
Oh, yes, sir.
Is this going to be indefinitely, or we can we can change it?
I'll let the attorneys speak to the detail, but basically, the Commissioners' Courts under state law set a term and how often they meet in the term. So this would become our new term. But like I said, at any meeting we could schedule. At a future meeting we could let everybody know that we have an agenda item to not have. In other words, from time to time there may be nothing to do around the holidays or whatever. Then we could vote to make skip meetings or otherwise. But that's the alternative is to go on scheduling special meetings constantly. But that would take a lot of extra work in the Commissioners' Court. So it's really up to y'all. But it seems between the bill cutoff issues we've been having with the auditor, we're at risk of missing and paying interest for lack of prompt payment, or they're last minute trying to push approvals through right before Commissioners' Court. So we don't get our cutoffs done promptly.
So before, were we paying these late fees and?
Occasionally, but most of the time it's that last minute. We've had several public comments over the last several months about why aren't you posting, like the bills approved, and then it seems like they're always coming in at the last minute. The new The other thing is that's looming in front of us, I didn't mention, is the beginning September 1st, the posting period is going to move from 72 hours to 3 working days.
Business days.
Business days. And so, so that means that we're going to have to move our cutoff back even further. That's going to put us in jeopardy. Now, I've been working with my staff to practice now what it's like to have 3 working days instead of waiting until the new law takes effect. And I just see that it's going to be a bigger challenge. So,
And next one is, do we foresee having this many agenda items?
well, I'd certainly like to get, what my plan is, if we had weekly meetings, I was hoping this would be half the agenda items. Almost every meeting since I've been here has been 30 plus meetings, agenda items. And it's just very cumbersome. And then we do the workshops for budget workshops after that. It's very difficult.
I'm just always under the old adage of work all day and get it done. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You're here, we're here, let's make a day of it, instead of,
And if we're going to look at that, I'd like to see the cost, what it's going to cost for having all the staff in every week, like we're having now.
Okay.
What, to the question, what does Cody do in here on Tuesdays when we're not in here? Does he do mornings or just afternoons?
Vicente Stafford. The first and third weeks of the month are generally scheduled for jury trials. If a jury trial goes, it would start usually on a Monday, could go through Friday. I know the next week, when we don't normally have court, we have a jury trial that starts on Tuesday, and we'll go Tuesday and Wednesday. So those are normally set for jury trial weeks. Those are scheduled out right now for jury trial weeks. In terms of would it affect our staff, I would say that more than likely Commissioner's Court would be downstairs. It wouldn't affect my office in terms of having someone in it, but it would affect like live streaming, things like that, that I know are not required, but people would be trying to figure out when it's going to be online, when it's not going to be on, that kind of thing. But in terms of court, the court at law, he generally has jury trials set for those opposite weeks that Commissioner's Court is not. And I don't know, I did do some research on the last time that they did this. It looked like it was maybe in 2010. They went and started doing, because the term had already started, that they had voted on a term of the second and fourth. When they voted to change that and add every week, they still called those special sessions, not regular sessions, because the term had already started. And so they would still be called special sessions, I believe. And then they just voted to stop having those weekly special sessions. That's what it appears that happened in 2010 timeframe. And they just made a vote and then they stopped having them. And several times during the time they were having them, they voted to cancel one if they didn't need it. But they did start scheduling special sessions within a term that I had already said only the second and fourth.
So if we frequently, if we frequently had court double us and Cody, how does that affect you?
It wouldn't be a huge thing. Only because my Commissioner's Court person does not always go to criminal court. I do have 4 court staff that I have, if I'm not available, I have somebody that can go to court for Commissioner's Court. And then my criminal court people are completely separate. So in terms of that, it wouldn't be a huge deal. We would just need to know, and there would be the chance that my court side of my office downstairs would be closed to the public if I don't have anyone in the office on the court side.
Commissioner, while you're answering your question, if this goes to face that you've already voted good, it would last until either we vote again in the future pass this issue today, for example, we're going to have a meeting next Tuesday, we have to cancel it by vote today for the meeting for next Tuesday. We can't call special terms, this will not be a special meeting, a special term that we're doing, we're changing our order of regularly scheduled meetings. So under the law, it's not a special meeting. However, the county judge can call a special term, a special meeting, whenever you feel the need to, or by 3 commissioners can also do it. I do not think it's going to be a special meeting, it will be a regularly scheduled meeting if it passes changes. And we'll have to do it again in September, decide then what we're doing for the full year next year.
And so I did check the status of the courtroom before I made this proposal today, and it is clear and can be worked around either downstairs or upstairs for the next few weeks, and then reschedules in the county court at law. There's no cost. Typically, probate is done on Tuesday, and that can be done downstairs. And they're quite willing to do that. So.
Okay, so if we window this, you think between now and the end of August, when we get our budget done, we probably need weekly meetings. So we can say that, we can vote to do that now for this term, and then we can reassess.
Yeah, the statute says that every year we have to declare a term. So basically, we would be modifying our term for the rest of the year, and then we would declare our new term at the end of the fiscal year, in September.
Which is really 10 or 11 weeks.
Yeah.
To try it out.
Okay.
I'd move for approval.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, let's see, I forgot, did I call public comment? No, I didn't call public comment, I closed public comment. This was the motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you.
So, sorry. What?
Yeah, we have an order to start.
Starting July 15th.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, if you'll bear with me, we have people with the emergency management and the sheriff's office here. I'm going to go ahead and call the addendum to the regular commissioners court so we can go ahead and take up these actions and let them get back to what they're doing. This is critical work in the middle of our declared disaster. So, is there any problem? All right, so this is the addendum to the regular Commissioners Court meeting for emergency agenda items pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.0.
I'm sorry, looking for the addendum. Got it, thank you. Sorry.
I'm sorry, sorry, lost my place. 551.045, authorizing emergency agenda items to be considered with at least 1 hour date, Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, the meeting place of the second floor courtroom located at 220 South Pierce, Burnet, Texas. I did email and notified most of the press. There has been confirmed that I've done so, consistent with state law. The first thing we're going to discuss, consider, and take agenda item 36. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding community flooding and emergency management activities. Rather than me talk, I think I'd like to call on our county sheriff to give us a report or an update on the activities that they've been going through the last several days. Sheriff Calvin Boyd, thank you.
Calvin Boyd, Burnet County Sheriff. I was asked to give an update today. It's been a long 4 days. It's the fourth day, I believe, we've been in it. Started Saturday morning with the floods. It's been we've had so much help from so many agencies across the state. I would hate to even try to name them right now. And they're still coming. Austin sent us 8 or 10 people today to search. National Guard sent us, I think, 3 Blackhawks today to help us search. We started out with 6 recovery, missing persons. We've found 5 now. Found the 5th one late last night. As a court, we're not able to release that name yet. As of time of court, we're not able to release that name yet. So we have 1 left, and it's Chief Phillips. Where he went in the water is one of the most difficult places to get to, so we've had a hard time searching that area. But we're gonna, all of our efforts will go to that search today, since he's the last missing person. We have access to 12 dogs today, and the Black Hawks, and a lot of people on the ground. So, I hope it'll be a fruitful day, and we'll find Michael. As most of y'all know, if you've been keeping up with the media, we located his vehicle and some personal items. We just have not located him yet, but we're not gonna stop until we do. I feel confident we'll find him. One of the things Michael Phillips was a fireman. He was with the volunteer fire department in Marble Falls for 30 years. When Marble Falls grew up a little bit, and when we got the full-time fire department, he stayed with the voluntary side of it, probably because of his job at Marble Falls Independent School District. He retired from there a couple of years ago, but the fire department was always his number one, and so he was able to really go into that full-time last few years. He made chief. He worked every job there was coming up through the fire department. And of course, down in Marble Falls, he's kind of a staple, so he'll be missed by the community, as well as our first responder family. So we want to, pray for his family and pray for all the victims' families. It's been some heartbreaking stories this week. I really don't, other than talking about that, I really want to thank Faith Academy. They opened their doors down there. It was a perfect location. And they opened the doors, and it's a big enough place. We had a huge parking lot for the helicopters. Unbelievable amount of food down there. I think Commissioner Dockery can attest to that. They've really taken care of everybody down there. So I want to really give a large shout out to Faith Academy. I thank them for what they've done down there. It would have been difficult finding a better location to do that. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you. Faith Academy has been overly kind and generous.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and call on Derek Marcio, Emergency Management Coordinator.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. So a couple things that we're working on, of course, right now is ensuring that we're getting a cost tracking process in place so that we can backtrack at least 3 or 4 days instead of having to backtrack months. So I've got a team of folks from not just the Texas Division of Emergency Management. The request went through Texas Division of Emergency Management for their Incident Support Task Force. I've got folks from Denton County, McLennan County, and a few others that are here to help us get many of those pieces in place and many of our documentation practices in place. Beyond that, actual coordination for further recovery efforts, of course, we're working with our Arc of Highland Lakes and many other organizations in the county in order to get some of those damage assessments on private property completed. Those should be either trained today and began today, or at least trained to begin tomorrow. Mucking of houses, as far as I have been informed of, is already begun. But as we need to be able to track every bit of material, time, and anything else associated with any road repairs, infrastructure recovery. We need to be able to track all of that in accordance with FEMA standards so that we can hopefully get that reimbursement in the future and have less of a hassle with it as we may have had in the past. Of course, coordinating any sort of press releases with the sheriff's office, any sort of updates. From the commissioners, the only thing that I would ask, I've got some disaster finance folks here today, and I've got other folks that will be able to help with that as we go forward. They get trained up on how to do the PSTAT reporting. That's the Public State of Texas assessment tool for damages to public infrastructure, our roads, our buildings, those types of things. So if we can get that, because that'll be able to populate in a tool, we'll be able to get an estimate of what our damages actually look like much earlier instead of going through a longer process. So I would ask, and I'll be giving your contact information to Mr. Williams from TDEM, and I'm sorry, I don't remember your name? Kayla. And Kayla from Walker County is going to help out with that piece. So you'll be getting some reach outs. Please make yourself or your foreman or other folks within your road and bridge departments available to receive that training and be able to report these as appropriate.
So just to be clear.
Yes, sir.
What you're asking each commissioner and the county judge to do at some time today, not together, to go to the command center at the sheriff's office and receive training on the PSTAT online system that the governor has set up for reporting and assessing damages, as well as recording the activities associated with the disaster recovery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so then you've given us this form. This is the paper form tied to that also, or is it separate?
So that is a part of the cost tracking.
Okay. All right.
So the biggest thing that I could say is if you don't document it, it never happened. So anything that gets done, and what that form he's talking about is the ICS 214. It's just an activity log. Basically, this is who I am, this is where I started, this is what I've done throughout the day with timestamps, when we started something, when we completed something. You can either have all of your, each of your personnel on Road and Bridge do the form themselves, or if you're splitting up into teams, have the team leader do it and have those names listed below, but they just need to be very detailed in what equipment they're using and what they're doing to be able to track, turn that back into how we're tracking costs. So the personnel time and equipment time, all those pieces.
And then this form, once it's filled out each day or every couple of days, can be sent to disaster@BurnetCountyTexas.org.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good
And that
place for
way,
it to come.
the auditor can have that centralized in one place.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So do we still do an email per project?
So if we're using the PSTAT tool, that populates on a dashboard that we can look at, track. And one thing that I am working, your folks, Mr. Darling, will probably start getting some emails about, or at least contact about creating a live map to go on the website for where our road closures are. This way we can have a better visibility to the public on these road closures.
Okay.
On these, is there a picture upload, or are we still sending those in the email?
So pictures are a part of that tool. So what it is, it's a survey. It'll ask you the questions of where, what, how much it's going to cost, all those things, and it'll auto-populate once you get that done. And we'll be able to click on it, look at the pictures of what the damage is. This gives the state the ability to verify what is going on there. And FEMA can also see that too, because they'll share that information with FEMA. So instead of bringing out FEMA folks to actually look at it, they'll be able to see what those damages are and what we're doing. So it makes that process actually quicker. Now, right now, we are not under the federal declaration. I'm sure that we will be moving in that direction. We have beat our threshold according to FEMA and the state. That's not going to be a hard sell. So, but we are keeping up with that, and the better that we document this, the easier that process will be.
Who requests that officially?
For the FEMA declaration, that goes through the state. So that'll be through the governor's office. And that was via so the disaster declaration itself begins that process. The damages that we submit verifies that process.
In 2018, there was a somewhat of an issue of residential folks reporting their damage. Where do we go? I know where to go, but is that information being pushed out through the paper for the residential folks? Is that damage to their structure?
Are you talking about for cleanup?
ISTAT.
Yes.
So the reporting of damages,
That's it.
it's
Yeah,
preferable.
the threshold.
Yes, so we have been pushing that for at least the last 48 hours to go use the ISTAT tool. So the ISTAT tool is the individual portion, so that is for our private residents. It's better if they do it themselves because we can look at it and verify the damages, take very good pictures. I think there's a maximum limit. I don't know what that limit is off the top of my head, but the more pictures, the better. Because the ISTAT tool will do two things. It will help our damage assessment teams and the recovery teams, especially for like muck out cleanup, we'll be able to identify those areas that we need to be going to and come up with a plan on how to move through those areas and direct our volunteer organizations and other organizations to be able to conduct those cleanup operations. But at the same time, it also gives us, how much, it gives us that monetary amount in what the damages are. It also lets us know how many homes we have destroyed in various levels of damage, from simply being affected to minor, major, and destroyed across those four. And that tool explains what those look like and what to look for in actually making that selection.
That's great information, but I guess what I'm asking is this information, does the public know? Has it been in the paper? Has it been in the radio?
It's posted on the website. It's been posted in every press release.
Okay.
That's the link on our website, right?
Yes, the damage.tdem.texas.gov. That's the ISTAT tool.
And then also, we pushed it out on the Facebook, and we'll continue to push that out on a regular basis to encourage citizens to go and do their own assessment, and then that feeds into both the state and the federal assessment to determine the damages. So again, people have to choose to do that. They may not choose to do that. I get it either way, but we've been sending out the information to make sure that if somebody wants to report their damages, and then what they probably need to understand, and we're going to try to be working today to provide more information, if it goes to a federal disaster declaration, and that means that money might actually flow directly to individuals, because right now the only flow of funds would be to the county or to the operations, like what we have, like Task Force 2 and all those. So, but if the federal disaster, then they could qualify for monetary assistance to repair their homes. So if they don't submit, then there's no record of them qualifying for the assistance.
And that's the information and I understand how the process works.
Sure.
But as long as the folks in the community know, if
we put
it's
it on,
advertised,
right.
they know where to go.
Absolutely.
We'll push it out more to the press, but right now, we immediately, as soon as I found out, about it, then I pushed it out to our county webpage, and then yesterday I started sending out Facebook posts to remind people, because there's a lot of chatter on Facebook about lots of different things,
Yeah.
and so we're trying to make sure, please fill out this for your own self-assessment to report your damages, so that if the federal declaration comes in, you can qualify. Now, the explanation of all that has not been to where I want it to be, but we've been really busy in recovery and disaster mode for the last several days.
So as long as we're approved for what FEMA refers to as individual assistance, that will have various aspects, whether it be direct federal assistance or small business loans to help cover uninsured costs. That's basically where that piece really comes into play with any sort of monetary flow towards the public.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marcio. All right, I'm going
Just a quick little addition, I'm sorry. On those forms, make sure that the
State your name, please.
Oh, sorry, Janet T., Grant Manager. The forms that I gave each of the commissioners has all of their employees. They had put in, if they didn't already have a code for emergency operations, that form must match the time that is put on the time sheet as emergency operations. Those of you who have written timesheets, you can still just put still need to separate it. If we are funded, the overtime will be paid through the FEMA grant, but the regular time, which includes everybody in the county, everybody's regular time will count towards match. So if you do anything, you need to get one of these forms and send it to that disaster@burnetcountytexas.org. And I will send forms out to department heads, and hopefully we'll get everybody covered. If not, let me know and we'll get you one.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Darling, do you want to speak to the waste situation real quick, and then we'll move on? So.
Herb Darling, Burnet County Development Services. I do want to add real quick that ISTAT will cover commercial and agriculture. That's something that people need to know. We had a tremendous number of ranchers, farmers affected, crops lost, fences down. They need to report those damages on the ISTAT.
Okay.
Same thing with the commercial building. Just to update the court, yesterday we applied for a temporary debris management permit and a temporary burn permit at the recycle center. Can't remember the address.
2421.
Yes, 2421, FM 963. TCEQ has approved that request. We're still waiting on the Texas Historical, not Hysterical Commission to review the application and give their approval. I don't see any with that. We will work this site in conjunction with the city of Burnet. But it's something that we'll need to sit down and figure out what we're going to do, how it's going to operate, primarily with Commissioners Byerly and Collier, is their areas were the most substantially damaged. Commissioner Luther, I know you've got some too, but I think 2 and 3 were the hardest hit areas. Any questions, gentlemen?
Once we get the procedures to put out to the public on how this is going to work, can we get like a one sheet made up by some?
We will. We'll definitely
Make
get
it
it
real
worked
simple,
out.
I guess.
I'm, as quick as I get out of here, I'm headed to the city to start coordinating that. And I would like y'all's input also. I'll be happy to assist you with assigning numbers, cost to your road damages. I've got a fair knowledge of what road construction costs based on our subdivision work and engineers I visited with and contractors. So I should be able to pin some pretty close numbers on your damaged areas.
Thank you, Mr. Darling. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay. Seeing none, I call agenda item number 37, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding ratifying and extending the current Burnet County disaster declaration originally issued on July 5th, 2025 for 30 days. The declaration will remain in effect until August 5th, 2025. So Commissioners, Saturday morning I came in. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for assisting me and sending the staff to assist me on getting this declaration filed. We simply recognized the situation on the ground. We followed the instructions by the Texas Department of Emergency Management and got it filed and submitted to the governor, which was approved a short while later. We need to go ahead because we still have recovery operations underway for one victim, as well as we have a lot of people that need help. We're going to go ahead and continue. My recommendation is to continue for 30 days. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, seeing none, I'll consider a motion to...
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, and it's been moved by Dockery and seconded by Luther. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes.
I would just add, having been through this before, the DR number that's on these file folders, take a picture of that and keep that at your ready, because you're going to have constituents asking you for that, for the ISTAT information. That's part of it, so that it'd be tied to this event.
Thank you. I'll do that. Okay, I call agenda item number 38, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding acceptance and ratification of community donations due to the local flood disaster. I authorized Allied Services, Inc. to use a helicopter in search and rescue and recovery efforts. It turned out to be, what was his name? Steiner was the person. I authorized Allied, but it turned out to be a fellow named Steiner that actually flew the helicopter. And then food and water for first responders. People have been very gracious in dropping off stuff at the sheriff's office and other locations. And I'm asking that you allow us to go ahead and receive that on behalf of the county. I have a Texas Material donation of 5,000 tons of road base to assist county in the road building process. And there's a letter, I think that's in this, it's attached to this packet. And then any donation offered or received after the posting of this addendum and prior to today's meeting, I think there's been food all over the place in the sheriff's office and down in South County at the Faith Academy. And then any mutual aid donation from another county entity. So counties are authorized by law to transfer or help the rebuilding of roads or sending equipment or material or people. So anyway, is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, seeing none, go ahead and have a motion to...
Move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Byerly and seconded by Collier. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no, and motion passes. I call agenda item number 39, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action authorizing Burnet County employees upon obtaining permission from private property owners to enter private property strictly to remove flood debris materials attributable to damage of Burnet County roads. So just big chunks of concrete and or pavement landing in private property. We just need to be able to, with the landowner's approval, to go back out and retrieve those items so we can take them for disposal. Is there any public comment? Okay. Seeing none, I'll go ahead and...
And we can get that approval through text, email. It's better to do that.
We don't have to have it written out.
Verbal approval is okay, but it'd be better to get a text or email.
Yeah, well, just make sure we didn't have to have it wrote out. They just text, say, hey, yes, you're good.
Yeah, they represent, they do on that land. Or have authority.
So I guess in worst case scenario, if you get verbal permission, is send at that time, send a email to disaster@burnetcountytexas.org and just document, I spoke to Bill at 3 o'clock and do that. That way, at least we have a written record contemporaneously at the time that the approval was given. And if you can't get an email or text or something else, okay? All right, so let's see, I think, do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
all right. And then, is there any discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, item 40, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the declaration of financial emergency due to the floods commencing on or about July 4th and ongoing. Said declaration includes authorizing the use of up to $1 million from the county fund balance in aid of the following areas: overtime for road and bridge employees, overtime for sheriff office employees, emergency contracts with outside contractors for emergency protective measures and cleanup, overtime for county employees that are actively engaged in flood cleanup, debris management and other county contracts, the purchase, rentals, and equipment, and or supplies to be used in the debris cleanup on county roadways and road building roadways.
Rebuilding.
I'm sorry?
Rebuilding.
Sorry, rebuilding roadways. Is there any public comment on this issue?
Well, I've got some. What if we didn't have a contract with some of these private citizens that provided their time and equipment? How are we gonna go about? I've had several that brought skid steers, backhoes to help get their areas of the roads where they could at least be passable. Had another gentleman who wasn't worried at all about being compensated, but I feel we should compensate him because without him, we wouldn't have, we'd still be on the first crossing at Cow Creek.
So the quick answer to that, so they donated time, they donated equipment time. If you can get the amount of time that those folks operated on specific things, as well as the time that the equipment operated, that will count as volunteer time, which will go back towards our local cost share. So we just need to basically have that with a number. There is one way you could do it would be basically, well, no, still got to do it that way. So basically, we just need to track the number of hours that person worked, what the equivalent rate would be, and then also what the equivalent rate is for operating any sort of equipment that they used for the time that they used it on projects for the county.
So
I can get blank logs, if that would be helpful.
I think we're talking two different conversations. Hold on just a minute there. So what they're talking about is claiming the time and effort for reimbursement. If we get money back, that's a contribution for
Our match.
our match.
Okay.
So what I hear you asking is a different question, is can we go back and retroactively sign contracts for reimbursement directly to these individuals?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think there's anything in state law that would allow us to do that. We can look into it if we decide to approve this transfer of funds, but what I spent much of the weekend looking at under the Texas Emergency Management Executive Guide, as well as the statute itself under 418, I don't see any suspension of normal purchasing rules. They can be streamlined, but they still have to go forward, kind of like how we did it, contracting rules, purchasing rules. Everything I've found so far. Now, we can look into it to see if there's any way to reimburse that effort, but at this time, I couldn't find anything, because I was actually looking to see what role. Now, we'll need to have attorneys look at it and the auditor, but I don't see that potential today.
Like I say, I was just hearing that it was donated, they donated their time and equipment, right?
We'll work on
Well, it
that.
was, he offered to help, and without him, we wouldn't even be nowhere near where we are today.
No, I definitely get you, sir.
I mean, he basically built that road with that dozer.
Okay.
And he didn't ask for it. But I feel we should, that was a lot, he did a lot of work. So,
Let us look into that.
all right,
So-
Definitely.
Okay. All right, any public comment on this issue? Seeing none, do I have a motion to
Move for
adopt?
approval.
Okay.
second.
Okay. Call Dockery and Collier.
I do have, I know, I realize I made the motion on it, but I do have one. Authorize the use of $1 million from the county fund balance. Okay, I'm sorry.
Fund balance.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm good. My motion.
So when we get questions, our POs, are they coming out of our budgets now, and then we'll do line item transfers to reimburse them? Because if we keep going, like, I know some of my line items are gonna run out of money on emergency stuff, so.
We'll have to work through the process with the auditor's office. If this issue gets approved, then they'll either have to set up a special account with our code number, and then you'll just have to say, is this normal road patching, or am I doing, and so you'll do that. Some of those details we're going to have to work out through the auditor. But the point is, whether we come back next week and do a transfer, or whether we set up a special account to just funnel all these costs into, we'll work that out.
Okay.
So, is that,
It's already been set up.
okay. All right.
So the POs will go to that? Okay, thank you.
Just to make clear, this is strictly for Road and Bridge and Sheriff's Office. So, say,
Well, it's for disaster clean, I mean, I'll read it again. It's to take appropriate action regarding the financial emergency due to the floods commencing, authorizing up to $1 million from the county fund balance for the following areas: overtime and road and bridge employees, sheriff's office employees, emergency contracts with outside contractors for emergency protective measures and cleanup, debris management and other county contracts, and the purchase, rental of equipment and/or supplies to be used in debris cleanup on county roadways. So it's specific to these items. There's not other things that happen to be going on at the time. It's only to respond to these items. Is that your understanding, Commissioner? Yes, sir. Okay.
And I would add that have we missed something in the scope of this? She's not listening to me.
That's okay.
Anyway, should she have missed something or we missed something in the scope of this agenda item, if they will acknowledge that at some point and let us know what's going on, then we can take action to amend that at a future.
That's correct. Yeah, I want to be careful that it's not
Not
a
a blank check.
wholesale change in how we do business or putting general county cost onto this process, so. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding authorizing the county judge to negotiate and execute an MOU with the Arc of the Highland Lakes for long-term recovery efforts, which includes separating funds dedicated for the floods on or about July 4th and to include reporting to the county, state, and federal government their activities. Kevin, do you want to come up and say something, or you want me to just, I can explain the issue, but basically what the process currently is that, for instance, I met with USDA to talk about all the damaged fences and stuff, and so in that case, what the USDA wants to do is give the county money to give out to ranch owners, which means we would have to add staff and add resources. Same thing, I talked to several private and corporate donators, and they want to give money to us to provide out to the citizens for damage cleanup. The problem is we would have to add staff or treasurer staff and all, the whole 9 yards to start managing lots of money and activities, and we're really not set up to do that. We have in our county a demonstrated and long-term commitment to taking care of our citizens, and it's been largely through, not only through, but through the Arc of the Highland Lakes, which is a conglomerate of lots of different agencies and churches that are committed to this process. They give out financial aid, they provide food assistance, they provide volunteers, and they train those volunteers and provide them protective equipment. So my recommendation is to designate them as our fiduciary agent for long-term disaster recovery. And if you want to say anything, Mr. Nauman.
That's actually why the Highland Lakes Crisis Network, which was their former name, was created in 2018, is to be an organized nonprofit to accept donations so that the county wasn't in the business of having to create a nonprofit organization on their own. And I feel completely confident in Mr. Nauman and his organization.
Thank you for those words of support, for sure. I brought some information as well, just to have, so that you all can have it, if it's okay to hand that to you. And some brochures about what we do on a daily basis, but then also a QR code that you can have in your truck or whatever to have people scan it. Our process right now looks like food distribution out of 2 sites, so we're trying to coordinate all the overall picture, I guess, so let me start there, is to just try to coordinate everybody's goodwill, right? So everybody wants to help right now, but if everybody else just goes out and does it on their own, it can get complicated and confusing really quick. And so we had some experience in 2018, that's where the organization was formed. We've stepped into a lot of other areas since then, but this remains kind of at the heartbeat of what we try to do is be ready to respond in a coordinated, appropriate way to take in donations, but then also stick with the cases, the individual assistance for the long term. And so some of the cases in 2018 lasted 2 years to get people back to whole. And so that's kind of our role is we feel like this is our community. We're going to be here for the long term. And so we want to try to do that in a really good way to help us be more resilient as a community. And so we've got food distribution sites set up in Marble Falls at our warehouse, 800 Industrial. We've been shuttling some food out to Faith Academy as well, first responders. Every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. And then also over at First Christian Church, we just got a site established yesterday over on East Graves Street, where we'll have volunteers, food distribution every day of the week for the foreseeable future, where first responders, people impacted, volunteers, you all, people that are hungry, whatever. Like if there's so much food, if somebody needs a meal, send them to us. We're also distributing out to the volunteer sites for that as well. We've been conducting in coordination with Derek. We've got some teams being trained on disaster response and debris cleanup, mudding out. We've got teams out right now doing that. And then the biggest thing I think for you all to take away, and then also materials. So all the people that want to donate water, cleaning supplies, stuff like that, we've also got that in those 2 spots. And so we're trying to be coordinated, send everybody to one or 2 spots, as opposed to everybody just setting up on the street corner, taking in donations and stuff like that. And so if you can point people with goodwill to us, that would be great. But then also the cases, as you roll up on all of these people that are hurting and wondering how they're going to rebuild. I lost my entire RV, what am I going to do? That QR code, send them to that. We've got a need help tab on our website, and we're just trying to collect all of those cases right now so that we can get teams coordinated out to go help them get back to whole. And then the money piece is on the long-term side. It's going to take a lot of financial resources to get these people back to whole. A lot of them are in poverty to start with. And so what we're really trying to do is coordinate that in a way too, where we can point people that want to give money to one spot and then help us, that'll help us over the long term go back to these. It's up to about 60 cases right now of, if I don't have resources to repair or replace my RV, we'll help you get there. We'll help you get your house rebuilt. And so that is all, the amount of support that we can provide is dependent on the amount of money we can raise. And so that's why this streamlined effort is important right here off the start too. Sorry to take so much time, there's just a lot to communicate with. Any questions, or be glad to visit with you individually too if you have thoughts.
I'd move for approval.
Second.
All right, is there any public comment on this issue? Okay. All right, it's been moved by Dockery, and I'm going to have to call it, who's that? Byron? Just have to call one. Any further discussion?
I do have one thing, and I'm sitting here, I don't have the words to say what you, I know you're going to say not me, but your organization means to this whole thing. I'm trying to think of some words, I don't have them. But thank you. We cannot do this without you.
It's an honor to serve beside you.
Thank you. It was quite shocking, literally within hours of the flood, and people were calling out. I want to donate $250,000. I want to donate $80,000. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Call the treasurer and hey, get in here. But all of a sudden, and Kevin just and his organization just stepped up right away. I turned around in the emergency operations center, and guess who's sitting there behind me? Kevin and his wife. And they just out there, getting their briefing and then getting out and helping our hurting community. So it is amazing the way they just so quickly showed up and started helping. So, okay, with that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes.
Can we take 5? Sorry.
Yeah, let's take 5. Thank you very much. It is now 10:39. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
I'm good. I hadn't had much of a water yet.
So the USDA does kind of buy today, and we're like, we're going to have to help, but you'll have to apply
shot an email out there. Land passes for USDA.
Yeah.
See what they can do. Yeah.
We said they're already, the staff is going to get that where we can get it out to Randy. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine them give me $2 million and say, well, give some to Chad, give some to, how do I do that? Right?
Well,
And I'm the grant administrator. I know how to do
USDA,
Yeah.
they've already got everybody's, they pretty much have everybody's.
Yeah.
So, or if you're planting crops, they definitely should.
That was a good thing about it. The good thing is they did was they were going out doing the assessment to send back to us. So, like, in other words, if they drove down your county road and saw your fence down, they would measure that and send it into the TDM system. So that was, huh? Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, they were doing a windshield review. But whatever it is, I just wanted to, I told them I appreciate you doing the damage assessment and feeding it back. But I needed, everything that he was offering, I just, we'll give you the money and then you'll have to roll it out with grants.
Yeah. Well, that's what you expect you start holding it out there. Yeah, I'll approve you approve me. Well, that's what I'm saying, you got this price, and I gave my money over here, $8,
Even if we did,
Yeah.
just because you saw the guy one time and waved at him, picked up going down the county road, you think, oh, there's the money, that's all I'm waving. So,
I could have sworn I must have missed yours. Either that or they accidentally went someplace else. So yes, I do.
Holly's looking at me like, is God punishing you or testing you? And I said, I don't Yeah, it's hard to recognize. Nice to meet you, Chandler. Thanks for coming here today. I'm with you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get back together. I think so. Just hit that. the time is 10:52. Call the meeting back to order. We're going to go back to our regular agenda. Thank you for going through that with me, Commissioners. This is, I call agenda item number 6. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to revise the 2026 adopted budget calendar, in addition to set a special session for Commissioners Court on July 16th, 17th, or 18th, based on your availability, to discuss the FY26 pay, classifications, reclassifications, new positions, and other human resources related financial matters. Basically, we've already voted to go to once a week meetings, but we still need to have probably a true meeting to have at least a good review of how we want to handle the step and grade and any potential cost of living increases. Just kind of have a workshop just dedicated to pay and salaries and things like that. So is there any public comment on this issue?
Patty, go again. You just said workshop or a special session?
I'm sorry. I thank you. Special session. Accept the correction.
I have availability Thursday afternoon or Friday. I can't do it Wednesday.
I was open all day Wednesday.
Sorry, my bad.
Thursday afternoon's okay with me.
What afternoon? Thursday afternoon?
Thursday afternoon.
That would be this Thursday, the 17th.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Commissioner Luther? Either one of those days?
What time after
17 should be fine.
All right. Whatever time, I didn't set a time.
1:30, 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So, Randy, we need to go ahead and do a motion on this, correct? All right. So we'll plan on holding this meeting at 2 o'clock on July 17th. This may not be the only meeting, Commissioners, but this is the one we need to really flesh out what our strategy will be going forward for this next budget cycle. So, all right. So do I hear a motion to accept setting a meeting on July 17th, Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
So moved.
To consider these items listed in the agenda. Okay. Yes?
Designated as a workshop or special permit?
Did I do it again?
Special session.
It's a special session.
Can't take action.
We will take action. We may take action.
Move for approval.
Okay, so it's been
Where
moved.
are we going to have it here?
Downstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay,
There's family court.
okay. All right, so we'll do it downstairs in the first floor.
I don't know what time, but
Downstairs?
so maybe a combination.
Okay. I'm sorry, where?
I don't know. So
Okay. Do I have to have the location?
We can post it later.
Okay, all right, then we will find the location and get it posted.
Commissioner Luther made the motion, I'll second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, I call agenda item number 7, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to review the county attorney, district attorney, and public defender's proposed workshop on July, to move it to July, proposed budgets in a workshop on July 15th instead of the workshop scheduled for today. And I've asked, also, I don't know if we can do this, Mr. Counsel, but the sheriff is busy with emergency operations, and the constables are providing assistance. So we actually, I don't know if this is the place to do it, or just, we just.
Don't you have that set for later day? I think
Yes.
we'll open it back up and be a safer approach.
Okay, so I'll just pass on this for now, and then when we get to the workshop scheduled for today, we'll take action on the workshop. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
We go ahead and vote on this for this one that you got on the agenda, but on the sheriff's office one,
Uh-huh.
you can open up and vote it on the table and do it another time.
Got it. Okay, all right, so this is moving the county attorney, district attorney, and public defender's office proposed budget, reviewing those in a workshop on July 15th instead of a workshop scheduled today, for today.
Do we have a time for that?
It's, you mean the one we're going to schedule?
Yes, July 15th, workshop.
You can do it immediately following the regular session.
It would be the workshop following the regular schedule.
Okay.
Session. Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion to move these items to the workshop on July 15th? Is there any public comment? Okay. Hearing none. Do I have a motion to move these items to a workshop on July 15th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. The motion passes. I call agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the acknowledgement on the selection of Information Technology Director Gregory Harris. Commissioner Byerly and I conducted about 7 interviews and made an offer which was rejected due to pay levels. During the intervening time between commissioners' courts to request additional salary, we had a few more applications come in. We interviewed the remaining qualified applicants, and Mr. Harris demonstrated in his application responses, his application, his responses to questions, and a full background investigation that he's very qualified to serve as the Burnet County Information Technology Director and Cybersecurity Officer. Commissioner Byerly and I agreed to offer the position to him and announce him today, although he's been actually at work for several days. We had the background clearance come in almost immediately. Mr. Harris, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning. Commissioners, Judge, my name is Greg Harris. I am from Greenwood, Mississippi. I have had extensive background in my professional career as an athlete and moved into the technology realm at an early stage of being a professional athlete. I've been in here in Texas for over 30 years. I recently moved to the county 3 years ago. So I am happy to be able to serve my county, the place where I live, and provide my expertise to help serve the community.
Any questions? Is there any public comment?
Welcome to Mr. Harris. But has he already been, didn't he speak at the last meeting? He was already hired?
Yes.
So this is a retroactive ratification of an action that was taken without the court? I'm just checking. I just want to make sure that I understand what's happening.
Thank you. All right. Any other public comment? Okay, welcome, Mr. Harris. And so, under the authority that the Commissioners Court had adopted the org chart a few weeks ago, I don't know that this action requires a motion since the item has already been approved by the Commissioners Court to designate the county judge to be able to hire these individuals, but I did make sure that followed all the proper processes. Just a reminder that that all positions not created by law work for the Commissioners Court, even though the county judge has some latitude to go ahead and hire them. They do work for the Commissioners Court. So I call agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding approval for reclassification of the information technology assistant positions from hourly non-exempt to salaried exempt positions, along with a pay reclassification to Group 68. I'll call on Shirley Bullard to present this item.
Yeah, my name is Shirley Bullard, HR Director. We've revised the job descriptions for the technology assistants. Their new duties, along with the previous duties, have gotten them to a point where they qualify under FSLS, Fair Labor Standards Act. They do qualify now for position reclassification to exempt position. The corresponding salary adjustment is proposed based on the evolving role and the increased responsibilities and significant involvement within the technology department benefiting the county. The primary duties now align with the requirements for administrative exemption under the Fair Labor Standards Act. The position has taken on additional responsibilities and exercises independent judgment. These responsibilities require consistent use of discretion and individual decision-making, exceeding the scope of the current non-exempt classification. To reflect the elevated responsibilities and ensure that the new salary meets the minimum threshold for exempt status, a proposal is made to reclassify the positions from pay grade 67 to pay grade 68. This adjustment will also align the compensation with market benchmarks for similar roles and required experience levels. Questions?
So this is anticipated for impact for next year's budget or immediately?
Immediately. They've taken on additional duties because we have a new IT director that is restructuring and changing their responsibilities.
Well, how's that going to be budgeted?
We have approval from the auditor's office that there's sufficient funds in a line item that will cover these small increases for the remainder of this year.
Okay. As long as you've been assured that.
The other issue here is that when I got here, what was happening is these guys were getting called in. If something happened at the sheriff's office or whatever, 2 o'clock in the morning, they were, qualifying for overtime, but they're being told, sometimes being told that they, they couldn't get paid overtime, but they had to come in at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so it was just really kind of strange. And so once Greg got here, we started talking about the reality under the Fair Labor Standard Act that these guys are IT professionals and they have to come in at 2 o'clock in the morning and they shouldn't qualify for comp time, for overtime and things like that. So.
If I may, I appreciate that, Judge Wilson. We are restructuring how we do things. Right? Currently, we have a lot of vulnerabilities that we have to create special projects. That's going to be required for the staff to work on weekends and out the hours to avoid any interruption in our services. Some of the things that we're looking to achieve is stability and predictability from an accounting perspective, that we can control that cost and understand that their availability is not rendered because they have hours available or we have a budget for them to come in after hours. We get a little bit more productivity and ownership as they are being assigned to various areas of expertise, which is going to be very effective moving forward in our security posture, how we are able to manage the infrastructure as a whole. And so it'll help us prevent downtime in the event of emergencies or disasters or cyber attack. I think that if you come into the office today, you'll see that they are culturally adapting to being having ownership as a salaried employee. They're no longer filling these, hey, do I get my timesheet in? So they're spending less time on operational things that is dictated by having to be on the clock versus working. And finally, our operational flexibility, we're allowed to now schedule, how we handle, support after hours on weekends and things of that nature. So it's a benefit as a whole. I think their morale has increased. They're very bought into what we're doing, and they're already assessing the opportunity for the things that we have ahead that we have planned. So thank you for your indulgence.
I'd move for approval.
Second.
Okay, is there any public comment on the issue? Did I recall? No. Anyway, public comment? Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve this item, and the Dockery and Luther. And so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding approval for Mary Chitwood as the Burnet County Precinct 4 Reserve Deputy Constable. Missy Benzile is on site today in the disaster recovery, but basically that this she's requested for Mary Chitwood, who works, I believe, in the JP4 office, that is be able to be approved as a reserve deputy to both help Missy on the regular constable duties, but also to be available for backup when as a secondary bailiff when needed on the precinct 4 side. So
Move for approval.
okay. Is there any public comment?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved by Luther and seconded by Dockery. Public comment?
Yeah, Patty Cope again. Is there a policy for reserve constables? Because I was looking for it, trying to figure out what the appointment policy is, the appointment procedures, if the Human Resource Committee is involved. Are the other constables involved because they have a cross, I think the JP's called a bench agreement, do the constables have a cross constable agreement? So would this reserve deputy have jurisdiction in other precincts? Is there a cost to the county? Will the reserve constable be using a county vehicle? And will the reserve constable's jurisdiction be only in precinct 4 countywide, or will she have jurisdiction over the state, in the whole state of Texas? And the other thing is, this name is familiar. You said that she's working as JP4 clerk, but she's also in the Baker Tilly witness list, which is in the public record. So these are just some questions that I have because I can't find the policy. And I'd like to know if you're going to appoint a deputy, does this, I'm sorry, not a deputy, a constable, does this constable have the full authority of a regular constable, whether a deputy or not?
Thank you for the public comment.
Those are some of my questions. Is I realize she's already, so we're salary and pay stays the same. We're just basically changing her title or giving her extra title or.
A reserve would just be when she has time available, when she's not on the clock, would typically be donating time.
It's unpaid position.
It's unpaid position as a reserve. So.
And can she roam if needed?
The jurisdiction of a law enforcement professional when she's under color of law would be the same as any other position within the county. So the same rules apply, as far as I know from Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. So she can't, as far as I know, she can't leave the county, but for any duties.
But she could work for any other precinct, or help any other constable.
I think not JP, Constable 1 has a reserve and assists.
So like, I think a few months ago, there was, I think it was one that came over to serve when one of the constables was not able to meet his bailiff requirements in the court here in the courthouse. He was able to, the reserve was able to come over and serve in that role as bailiff for the court here in the courthouse. So.
Motion and second.
Yep. It's been moved and seconded. Is there All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. Okay, and then, do we have material for a bond?
I have not received the bond.
We didn't hear back from Galloway, so do we pass on the bond, or do we, okay, we have to pass for the bond. I'll just have to take the bond up at a later time. Okay, I call on agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding reimbursement of to $3,500 from 10054304004, the fund to the city of Burnet for fire suppression foam provided during the June 30th, 2025 fire. A recent tire fire exhausted the availability of fire suppressant foam in the region. Almost, as far as I know, every fire department. Burnet County had earmarked funds for local fire departments. The fire was in the ESD 7 area, but because of its magnitude, the city of Burnet Fire Department took the lead. This motion is to use the Burnet County funds designated for ESD 7 to reimburse the city of Burnet for purchasing additional fire suppressant foam to put out the tire fire. Is there any public comment? Okay. Is there?
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve this item. Any further discussions? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 13, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding reviewing and approving the submission of the final obligation and expenditure report in the directed portal for the local assistance and tribal consistency funds from the U.S. Department of Treasury. I call on Jana Teague for that. Oh, she got called away. So basically, I believe this is the ARPA funds that we're finalizing the report, that everything's been obligated, although there's a few line items that haven't been spent. And so this is to authorize to submit the final report as requested by the U.S. Department of Treasury. Is there any public comment on the issue? Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by Dockery, seconded by Collier. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call on agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding approval of the Treasurer's monthly report, May 2025. Ms. Crown.
Good morning, Carrie Crownover, Burnet County Treasurer. I have May 2025 numbers for you. We had a beginning cash and investments balance of $81,305,398.49. We received a total of $2,590,286.34. Interest earnings for cash and investments were $297,570.64. We dispersed $4,608,475.70, leaving us with a month-ending cash and investments balance of $79,538,795.25. Donations received for May of 2025 were to vet rides for $9,084.85.
It's a big month for vet rides. I'd move for acceptance of the treasurer's report.
Second.
All right. Is there any public comment on the Treasurer's report? Thank you, Ms. Treasurer.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call on agenda item number 15, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding approval on one of the Levy-Dykema proposed layouts for the second floor of 127 East Jackson Street. And then So might not have fully explained it last time, Commissioners, but basically what had happened over there is that at 127, there was there wasn't a clear approval process as far as the contracting. There was a contract approved, but the second floor was going to be abandoned and just left as empty space. I had proposed, I think a couple of weeks ago, that we should consider having that open room, at least put a dais on one end so it could be used as a possible potential courtroom, and maybe even a commissioner's courtroom. But I'm not sure that the commissioners were ready to do that, so I've proposed another item. Again, I'm trying to keep from having almost $1 million spent on a building that's only used for 5 offices. So it was of great concern to me when I was trying to explain it last week. I may not, or 2 weeks ago, but these are some of the other options that y'all asked for to be considered. So one is a kind of a open floor plan with cubicles and a meeting table on one side, and then I still, at the bottom, I do have the original courtroom that would allow for a public meeting room, but the thing is, those are all temporary chairs that could be rearranged and used in lots of different ways. At the point we are now, it's critical that if we have some sort of idea of how the rest of the architecture should go, then we can organize the room to be whatever we want it to be, but it'll still be an open floor plan, but provide some choice that under current law, we can, the way the county purchaser explained it to me, we can, I think the current contract is $912,000, and within that contract, we can allocate up to 25%. As long as we stay 25% or lower, we can finish out the entire building. We had approved going out to bid several weeks ago an elevator, which roughly is somewhere between 80 to 150,000, but that would be a separate project or bid because it was
not part of the scope.
It's not part of the original scope of the contract. So again, I bring it before you.
How much was that elevator?
I don't know, but the original spec was 90,000, but they were thinking somewhere between 80 and 150, depending on the capacity of the elevator and what the quality of the elevator.
Let's get good quality.
But we're going out to bid for that. That's a separate item, so it's not part of this discussion. I just wanted to let you know that the Commissioners Court had already approved the consideration of the elevator as a separate item. So,
Do we have a cost difference on what it would be to have this open
not yet.
versus courtroom?
Well,
or are we just going to pick one or the other and then we'll decide on how?
Yeah, what I was trying to do 2 weeks ago is I was proposing just an open room with a dais on one end, which could be used for Commissioner's Court or a courtroom, either way. But the entire room is going to be open with movable seating to organize however we wanted. If we wanted to have a community meeting, we could have tables. If we wanted to have a training. But on one end was going to be a dais in my original proposal. That's the one on the second page on the bottom. And that was going to include monitors and different television screens for the Commissioners Court as well as the public so they could see presentations of materials. Then after our meeting 2 weeks ago, said consider it for office space, and without a lot of detailed instructions, this is what the architect came back, where we could have cubicles, basically low cubicles, and you see the table off on the left-hand side to organize. I know I have at least one request to move IT out of current facilities, and so a plan like this would be considered a good fit for IT. They could get together, they could have some room to put their equipment, and they'd have, if we had an elevator, they could get up and down and be centralized to the counting process. So, but I have to do cost estimates to see if I stay within the 25% after we have some selection of how to move forward. Any other questions? I'll go ahead and call. Is there public comment on this issue?
So sorry.
I need
The
to
original
apologize.
motion included Patty Cope, Burnet County voter, taxpayer, interested person. The original motion included mentions of workshop twice in the original deliberation. At the first meeting, this was brought up, and I still don't see that there's a workshop, which is what you all voted to do as part of this process. Thank you.
In the second floor office layout, this whole end, these are just tables and probably the cubicles made out of the freestanding, movable, so it's still all open.
It's largely open. We don't have to
Yeah.
go with every one of those cubicles. So like if IT was up there, they only have 4 people, so we don't need that many cubes. So we would just give them some more space to store computer components and parts.
But then it'd be strictly for IT.
That is one potential. We have lots of building requests for lots of spaces. The public defender's office, the district attorney, but most of them need to be near the courthouse. I guess even the juvenile probation has a need for additional office space, but so many of those positions, right now, IT is using a facility that's been loaned, that's actually dedicated to record storage that was built for the clerk, but is unfortunately not fully usable by the clerk to store records. So that's just one department, of all the departments that we can move there that generate high traffic for downtown flow. That would be one possible option.
I like both options. They're both usable. I like using the court one, because then if all those chairs are movable, then we could use it for other things. But also then we have, like I say, the public defender, IT, and those people need it.
Yeah. The public defender definitely could not come in here just because of the clientele and the traffic that they generate and the need to be close to. So if we were to do this into office space, the only of the people, of the agencies that are requesting space from me right now, the only one
Is IT?
would be IT that would be reasonably put here. The elections really couldn't use this facility because of the volume of, there'd just be a tremendous volume of equipment moving in and out. Every time it wouldn't be very often, but every time we have an election, we'd have to move every voting machine and every printer and all that stuff. It wouldn't be we talked about hiring the architect to look at our flooded school. Now that our school is flooded, we found out that I'd like to rethink that.
I guess that would be the south side like it is here, and then leaving the rest open. It's flexible to do whatever you want at any time.
Yeah, we don't have to necessarily,
Matter of finishing it.
what the project director needs is the concept. In other words, we're not necessarily approving the plan because they have to finalize what the cost is, but we at least have to know what concept to direct the, I need to see if I'm going to stay within my 25% budget. I need to know what to tell the architect and then the project manager to move forward. Because the alternative is what I walked into, 100 plus days ago, is the whole second floor would just not be used. just be an empty shell with no finished walls, or as far as I know. It would just
Well,
be-
can you, to check to see if it meets within that 25%, can we just finish out the bathrooms, the elevator?
Well, the elevator
Or
separate,
elevator
sorry.
separate,
Okay,
but
sorry.
get that part of it complete. Finish walls, sheet rock, paint, lights.
Yeah, the only problem is the electrical and
Electrical
the,
supplies.
all the
IT side of it.
IT, what
And
kind
if
of-
IT's going in there, all
We're
that,
gonna need a bunch.
you've got to run a bunch of Cat 6 cable and stuff, so, you know, that's just it. You know, I think, are you not the director of facilities, so if you want that to be IT, then it can be IT, but.
Yes, you are an elected official, you can say anything and everything you ever want to. So-
I won't do that. Vicente Stafford, County Clerk. Just for some knowledge for you guys and where I'm coming from on this, Joe Don, you know, several of y'all, that the building that IT is currently in was paid for by records management money. Years ago, the south half of it is currently holding all my records. The north half was loaned to technology because they had outgrown the one room at the annex. With all of the records archive projects that we have done, and with us opening up the second half of our building, our office downstairs, we removed all of our deeds and deeds of trust, the originals, from our downstairs office out to our records management building. When the building was built, there's an AC unit that went into the middle area of that building. That only thing that was going to happen there was going to be tables where we could work on records. Since we moved all the records in there and IT was still in that other half of the building, we went ahead and put all of our records that were downstairs into the middle section of our records building. Multiple occasions, that AC unit has leaked, and the statute says that I can't expose any of those original deeds to water, fire, or anything like that. I'm concerned that the way that room is stuffed in there currently, we are not in complete compliance with maintaining those original deeds and deeds of trust from 1852 to current. So what I'm asking is that IT can be removed and then removed from the other half, and the records that are currently under the AC units and subject to rain, or the AC unit leaking on them, can be put into the other side. We did a lot of work, and we paid a lot of money to get these records preserved and digitized, but now we need to store them because they are the official record, and I don't want to interfere with messing those up in any way. So that is the reason I'm happy to work with, but that is the reason that I have come and asked at some point in the not so far future, if we can find somewhere for IT, I would love to move those records so that I can be compliant with my records preservation. So.
Thank you.
That said, I think you ought to look at the IT layout that you have in there, or consult with IT and find out if it's suitable for them.
Okay.
Go from that standpoint would be my input, but
I concur with that input.
Okay. So we'd be meeting legal obligations on behalf of the clerk, as well as moving forward, and then not wasting $1 million on a building that can't be used. So I'd appreciate it. Do I hear a motion to move forward with consideration of office space and cubicle area for IT, and as proposed on, I guess it's the first page behind the section?
So moved.
Okay.
second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right, so I'll get the cost estimate and we'll move forward with with the rest of this work. So call agenda item number 16, discuss and consider and take appropriate action regarding the insurance total loss settlement offer to Burnet County for the Burnet County property 2016 Silverado, VIN number ending in 5850. Said vehicle was assigned to the jail. Mr. Attorney, do we need to go into executive session for this, for just to review a settlement offer?
You don't have it posted for executive session.
Well, we had it at the bottom. I added the language back in. So that's fine.
Looks like there's just two options.
Right, and what, I released, I apologize, but I took, released Captain Kimbler to go back. He told me that he would prefer that that they would just take the vehicle back instead of us having to dispose of it. So if we...
Release the vehicle, the offer's $15,127.
Okay. Right. So, but it is totaled, and I saw pictures, and it looks like a wreck, so an absolute wreck. Any public comment on the issue? Okay. All right, do I hear a motion to accept the release the vehicle option?
For approval.
Okay. So that is to release the vehicle back to the insurer and pay the settlement offer. Okay. It's been moved by Luther and seconded by Collier. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, I call agenda item number 17, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding approval of the Burnet County Appraisal District's renovation of real estate at 215 South Pierce. We provided an approval document in there for, there is no cost to the taxing entities. They've been holding back reserve for several years to be able to do this project, so but they do need a resolution concurring that, approving that they are able to go ahead and finish approving the reconstruction.
Renovation.
The renovation.
And this is this, you only have to help me, is this their original building? Because they bought the building next door. Is this to finish it out or to renovate the old building?
It's to finish out the new building. That is what Mr. Hemphill told me the other day. So.
Okay. Just
All right, is there any public comment on this issue? Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Firely, second by Luther. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. I call on agenda item number 18, discuss and consider and take appropriate action regarding the purchase of a dump truck for Road and Bridge Precinct number 1 from the 2022 tax notes. Say anything to that? Just buy the truck?
Yeah, we've gone out for bids for a new dump truck and looking to go with East Texas Mac. Low bid was $113,940. I would move for approval.
So I want to just, if you don't mind me making sure we correct the record, we didn't go out for bid, we were purchasing this off the cooperative
Exactly, we went
purchasing
through the
agreements.
buy board
Okay.
for
Just
quotes.
I'm sorry, I didn't want somebody to think we'd gone out to bid.
Absolutely.
So this is under the Texas Purchasing Act, cooperative purchasing agreements. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, hearing none, do I hear a motion? I guess you did just move, didn't you, Luther?
I did.
Okay, and then is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Dockery second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. All right, I call agenda item number 19, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the requesting that the Texas Department of Transportation complete a feasibility study on the proposed Burnet County relief route. Commissioner Dockery.
Judge, the city of Marble Falls reached out to us and asked us to include this action so that it could be considered in our transportation plan as we move forward with that update this fall, hopefully by Campo. And this has been discussed for the last 35, 40 years about having a relief route. And Obviously, it puts nothing in stone, but it does provide some 30,000-foot view of where the alignments might happen if they did. So I see no problem with including that in the discussions. No financial cost to the county, and it's, again, long-term planning.
And I would remind everybody that this, the 281 is the hazardous hazardous material route for I-35, and so it just really is incumbent upon us to consider those options and what the impact of that is. So this is just to ask the Texas Department of Transportation to complete a feasibility study. Is there any public comment on the issue? Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion to make this request to TxDOT?
So moved.
Second.
Dockery and Luther second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. I call agenda item number 20, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding automated traffic counts on county roadways for inclusion on a transportation plan update in the fall of 2025, and directing the county purchaser to procure services to conduct traffic counts and consider using the FY22 tax notes to pay for the services. Commissioner Dockery, do you want to say anything else about that?
Well, this is, again, planning for the future, the Campo updated transportation plan. The last time that I'm aware of we did traffic counts on our county roads was in 2009. We will use the traffic counts from the TxDOT roads for those roadways, but we need to know how traffic has matured in Burnet County since 2009. And so I would suggest we update that, and if we ask the auditor's office to do this, they'd probably reach out to you and ask you. I think the ballpark figure that I talked to Graham Traffic Controls out of Georgetown. They do traffic counts for TxDOT, so we would want our counts to comply with TxDOT standards so that they would comply. And I think that the number they gave us was about $200 a counter within 45 miles of Georgetown. So we're going to be right on the borderline of that. And I think the high of that estimate was $250 a counter. I would suggest that when you consider your county roads for counting, that if it intersects with a state highway on both ends, that you count both ends. So sometimes when you're talking about a county road.
So like 4 counters?
Well, no, it'd be 2 counters. So like County Road 120 is a prime example. It intersects with 1855, and then it intersects with 1431. So you'd want a counter on each end of it. Anyway.
This will go a long way in establishing, helping TxDOT and Campo develop our long-range plan.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we do this. This would be a September timeframe when school's in session.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay. Seeing none, do I hear a motion?
I'd move for approval.
Second.
Okay. Dockery, Collier in second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. I call agenda item number 21, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on a request for the final plat of Lot 13 Kingsland Commons, a public subdivision consisting of one lot on 0.858 acres out of 48.71 acres located in the William Simmons Survey number 121, abstract number 777, located near the intersection of FM 2342 and FM 1431. Mr. Darling.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Herb Darling, Burnet County Development Services. This 50-acre property was preliminary platted last year. What the developer is looking to do, they've got a commercial buyer for a tract that fronts 1431, so they want to do a final plat on one lot.
I've reviewed it, and move for approval.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Luther, second by Firely. Is there any public comment on this issue? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion passes. Okay. I call agenda item number 22, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on a request for the preliminary plat approval of Clearwater Landing at LBJ Phase 3, commercials consisting of 3.734 acres out of the Williams-Simmons Survey, number 121, abstract number 777, located on FM 2342 near Legends Parkway. Mr. Darling.
Judge, Commissioners, it's very similar to what we just did. This is a commercial track. It runs 2342. This is entry to Legends Parkway. It's going to be storage for the Clearwater Landing subdivision that's on Lake LBJ. They have their drainage completed, applied to LCRA. They've got their TXDOT permits for the entries. Simple one lot play.
Move for approval.
And it's preliminary.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Luther, second by Dockery. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call on agenda item number 23, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on the request for a variance from the Burnet County Subdivision Regulations by Vesna Meechan for a 2-acre tract out of a 12.79 acre tract out of the Joel D. Range Survey number 13, abstract number 716, further identified as BCAD, Burnet County Appraisal District Parcel number 63363, to separate a commercial tract from a residential tract. Collier, Mr. Darling.
Judge, Commissioners, what this is, it's the Pogue Studio on FM 1431, just past Hidden Falls Adventure Park for years. The Pogues have owned that entire property. It is sold. The current owner wishes to separate out the studio as a commercial tract on itself.
Does it have water?
Yes, sir. It's my understanding it does.
It's been there a while.
It's been.
Well, I just didn't know if the water was on the other part of the track. That was my question.
Water.
It has the rain harvesting. The house itself has a well. The commercial tract, it only has a restroom in it, so they just use rain harvesting.
That it's full.
It's full today, I bet.
I was about to say, I've only driven by it about a dozen times this last 3 days, so. Okay.
I'll move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by Collier, second by Dockery. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Okay, motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 24, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on the request for the final plat approval of Lot 1 in Windermere Air Park 3, plat number 3.1, a public subdivision consisting of 0.29 acres out of the Maria Salinas Survey number 17, abstract 776, located in the Windermere Air Park. Commissioner Dockery, Mr. Darling.
Judge, Commissioners, the last court, we have preliminary plat for you. This is simply a hangar lot at the Windermere Airport that I wish to sell.
Complies with all of our restrictions. I'd move for approval.
Second. Motion by Dockery, second by Collier. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. call on agenda item number 25, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on a request for the preliminary plat approval of Madigan Subdivision, a private subdivision consisting of one lot on 2.923 acres out of the Maria C. Salinas Survey number 17, abstract 776, located at 945 County Road 414. Mr. Darby.
Judge, Commissioners, this is a simple one-lot, thank you, I appreciate it. Simple one-lot subdivision. It's in Commissioner Dockery's precinct. The landowner has two separate big cat parcels. He's combining them. There's an existing house. Not sure why he wants to create a subdivision.
Kind of a cleanup more than anything else.
I think it's a cleanup.
I'd move for approval.
Second.
Okay, Dockery moved and Luther seconded. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call on agenda item number 26, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding budget interdepartmental line item transfers.
Judge, I need to step out for just a moment. Already.
All right, Commissioner Dockery has stepped out of the room for just a minute, but we still have quorum, so we'll continue to operate. These are standard items, trying to move money into, as we get to the end of the year, we'll see more of these. I've encouraged the auditor and the department heads to make sure that they try to manage their budgets instead of going into negative operations and then doing a cleanup at the end of the year. So they're trying to make sure that they make these corrections. I know there's software licensing fees increases, and then a few months ago we authorized the sheriff's office to buy some additional vehicles, but I made a joke about how they're going to buy a half a car, and so this is the other half of the car that they couldn't buy, and now they're moving it back into vehicle repair and maintenance to keep up with the vehicles that they have. And then this is the IT's switch, moving some money to make sure that they can meet all the obligations of the switch projects, that we're trying to update all of our switches and routers throughout this entire county system, and then some technical operating supply from operating supplies for the sheriff. So are there any questions? Or I don't have all the people here to answer the questions, but these look pretty, I've carefully reviewed them and tried to talk to everybody about these, so I recommend approval.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Who did that?
Motion you made, or?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You made the motion?
I'll motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any public comment on these line item transfers? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. I call on agenda item number 27, discuss and consider take appropriate action for the authorization of payments of claims previously approved by the county auditor. Those are submitted often online, so I apologize they're not in the book, but I have looked over them and I'm satisfied that they're appropriate. So do I hear a motion? Is there any public comment on agenda item number 27? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Okay, Luther moves,
Second.
and then Collier second. Let the record reflect that Collier has come back into the room.
Dockery.
Commissioner Dockery is back into the room. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. All those opposed say no. The motion passes. I call agenda item number 28, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the contracts, agreements, or grants to be approved and or ratified, authorizing the county judge to sign the Rural Capital Area Workforce Solutions chief elected officials agreement, which is, there was the other chief elected official within our area has resigned, so Judge Bray from what is that down there, Blanco County has agreed to serve in that role. Approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between San Patricio and Burnet County for emergency evacuation jail services in the event of a hurricane. C, approval of the $400 sponsorship for Marble Falls Rodeo, and approval of $500 sponsorship for Highland Lakes VFW Stars and Stripes Barbecue Cook-Off. Is there any public comment on this issue?
Judge, and just for the record, I rejoined for agenda item 28.
Thank you. Okay, and then no public comment. Do I hear a motion to approve these items?
Can you pull C out, please?
Yes, okay. So we'll be voting, discussing, consider, take appropriate action regarding contracts and agreements for A, authorizing the county judge, B, approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement between San Patricio County, and approval of the $500 sponsorship to the Highland Lakes VFW Stars and Stripes Barbecue Cook-Off. All those in favor of those three items say aye.
Well, we don't have a
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry, is there a motion?
I make a motion, approve A through D, excluding C.
Okay. Is there a second? Second. Okay, call your second. Any public comment? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. Okay. I'll call agenda item number C, still on 28C. Discuss, consider, take appropriate action regarding contracts, agreements, and grants for approval of a $400 scholarship for the Marble Falls Rodeo. Okay.
I'd move for approval.
Second.
All right.
And I need to step out and take a phone call.
Okay.
Make a phone call.
Well, listen, we already need you for the vote. Well, don't have to.
Yes,
We're going to guess if the judge vote.
All right. That's fine. Go ahead if you need to.
No, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. So all those, is there a motion? Wait, we got a motion. Any public comment on this issue? Okay. And then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Is there any abstention or?
I abstain.
Okay, abstain or recuse. So Commissioner Byerly, so the motion passes. Thank you. I call agenda item number 29. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action concerning the call for bids and bid openings, requests for proposals, qualifications, and related openings. County Road 120 paving project. I know he just left, so.
Everything on that.
Okay.
Did we not, I thought did we not go out for bids on that, or are we going out for bid? I can't
Sorry.
Well, this says we're calling for bids, or bid openings.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember. If
I
it's,
don't know. I'm sorry. It was.
well, Judge, can we just hold on that one, go to the next?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of agenda item number 30. These are just acknowledgements. There's no action to be taken on this. We have the commissary and inmate trust audit. We have a visitation renovation compliance letter authorizing the proceed with the construction. The Texas minimum standard jail compliance from the Texas Commission on Jail Standards, that they've completed their review and that our jail has met the requirements. PEC notice of utility connections, TECQ notice of joint groundwater monitoring and contamination report, TCEQ notice of receipt of application and intent to obtain water quality permit renewal, LCRA receipt of comment regarding the quarry mine permit, CART's FY26 budget request, Vets Ride FY26 budget request, a letter from Michael Smith regarding LCRA and Encore transmission line, and a letter from Diane Davis acknowledging and thanking the Herman Brown Free Library Genealogy Department for excellent service. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay. So like I said, there's no agenda item to be taken. All right, so we're going to go back to agenda item number 29. It's the county discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the calling for bids and bid openings, request for proposals, qualifications, and related openings, County Road 120 paving project. Is that a request for bid, or is that a bid opening?
You know,
We need to call Megan.
yeah, I need to hold on this one. Let me make a call to Megan and see if this was a timeline issue, or can you check with her? Do you have the paperwork? Discussing action and approval to go out for bid for County Road 120 paving project.
This is to go out.
Let's go out for bid.
Yeah, so I'd move for approval.
Okay, all right.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any public comment on the going out to bid for the County Road 120 paving project? Seeing none, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay? Already taken care of 33 and 34. Wait, no, 34 is the last one. Okay. Did we not put calendar review?
31.
Yeah, 31's calendar review.
All right. Is there anything on calendar review that anybody needs to bring up? Okay. Seeing nothing, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion passes. Now, Commissioners, if you would bear with me 1 second, what I would like to do in accordance with the local council is that we open the, we open. Yes, ma'am.
I just need to stop the recordings real quick and then start it back over.
Thank you.
All right.
There. Whoa, it's tiny. Okay, this is Brian Wilson, Burnet County Judge. I called the Burnet County Workshop Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. The time is now 11:59, and I call this meeting to order. Commissioners, I request that we, what is the word, pass on all these items. We don't have the proper people do the disaster declaration and the activities going throughout on the county. So do I need a vote for this? Okay. If all those in, do I hear a motion?
Move that we postpone,
Okay. All right.
whichever you want to do.
We'll postpone this meeting. Dockery, second by Collier.
I'll second.
Okay. And then is there any public comment? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We will postpone this meeting to a later date. Thank you, Commissioners.
Go on.